and welcome to the Good, the Bad, the Ugly video game review. I am, of course, Ivan. This week we will be looking at Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2, developed by LucasArts. This is the sequel to Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 1. Hope I didn't lose any of you there. I played this game on the Xbox 360, and yes, I finished the game. So, without any further ado, let's just get to it. First thing good you'll notice about Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2 is that from head to toe it looks and sounds like Star Wars. Runs like a movie, looks like a movie, all the designs look like it could go straight up on a Lucasfilm production of Star Wars, so that works for it. A couple other good things about the game. Gameplay and the Force powers have relatively not changed. So you use your same Force powers. You can pick up the controls, and if you played the first game, you're gonna be running around like an old pro in no time flat. Also, a lot of the combos, although they look a little different, may act a little different, are relatively the same too. You know, the same button combos and stuff. They don't try to confuse you with that stuff. Another good thing about this game is they finally have some customization options through the use of the lightsaber crystals. Not only does it change the color of your lightsaber now, but it will add these little innate abilities, like the ability to set people on fire, or to gain more health back, or get your force powers back. It gives you a little customization, and there's enough customization options in there to really kind of enhance any gameplay style. The last thing I really liked about this game is they stuck with just the Empire as the main foe in this. They didn't try to elaborate and give you all these crazy new aliens to fight or stuff like that. That just seemed kind of unrealistic. You know, the aliens with the shields that could block your force powers and things just seemed kind of stupid to me. So it was good they kind of stuck with the Empire here and kind of gave you pretty much a standard foe to fight throughout the game. And that's pretty much all the good I found in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2. On the bad side of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2, the first thing that really comes to mind for me is some lazy level design. To give you a little spoiler, you will start on a world, you will finish on the same world, and the levels in the beginning and the end really have no difference. There's also a lot of times you spend going through like a spaceship, and then you'll go back through the spaceship again. It just seems like you're always in the same place doing the same thing. Anytime they give you a chance to do something different or hit a new environment, you don't spend a lot of time there. Another bad thing about this game is the lack of iconic boss fights. In the first game, you ran into a lot of really great boss fights in the game where you fought a version of Darth Maul and other weird, cool stuff that just was a great time. You know, pulling a Star Destroyer down to the Earth. I mean, that's iconic and cool. This game, there's a couple of iconic boss fights, but that's it. Other than that, the boss fights are generally used to introduce to you new cannon fodder for down the road. The two boss fights that are iconic and kind of cool just aren't very challenging. It's just like you're going through the motions to get the health bar down. So I didn't really like that very much. Another thing on the bad side of it was just generally the voice acting seemed really uninspired, and no one really seemed like they were really into their characters this time around. Maybe that was just me. I don't know.
Abandoned ship! Abandoned ship! You sure about this?
That's the only thing I can think of. You just be ready to clean up afterwards.
The ugly part of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2 can be summed up in two words: the story. I think this story is probably the most contrived and slapped together piece of shit that I've played all year long. I don't know, maybe it's budget cuts, maybe they sent everybody down to BioWare to help finish the Old Republic, but this story is about one dimension. It tried to be two dimensions in the beginning, but comes down to one. So you start off, and Vader tells you you're a clone when you come to. Another General Coda tells you you're not a clone, and for about half the game you wonder if you're a clone or not, until the characters tell you, don't worry about it whether you're a clone or not. You know what? I don't care if that character should worry about it or not. I'm worried about it. You told me you gave me the question, now I want it answered. Secondly, the motivation of the character throughout the whole story is simply to find his girlfriend. That is it. That is about as un-Star Wars as Star Wars can get. Really? We should just call it Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Hormonal rage to get laid. I mean, that's about what he's trying to do. Doesn't care about anything else for the greater good like a Jedi would. Even a Sith would give a shit about some of this stuff. And instead, he's like, my girlfriend. Gotta find my girlfriend. And that's it. Really? Very uninteresting story, LucasArts. Very unoriginal. Secondly, a very poor use of iconic Star Wars characters. Exhibit A, Boba Fett, who spends about 1 minute in the entire game. Tell me you couldn't have written in a boss battle where he didn't die, LucasArts. Are you kidding me? Now that would have added something to the game. That would have given us something memorable to play. Also, they just kind of throw Yoda in there. You go to Dagobah, you go on a little vision quest, and Yoda, completely out of character, says, yes, you should go on a hormonal rage to go find your girlfriend. Are you freaking kidding me? Yoda would give you an insightful piece of wisdom that would make you question your motives, would make the player themselves look inside themselves. But instead, you chose to just have Yoda say, yes, that's a great idea. That, my friends, is a misuse of Yoda and a complete Yoda foul. So, in the end, I gotta tell you, story, absolute crap. And the ugliest part of this game. Here's how I scored the game out of 10. I took 2 points off for the lazy level design. Boss fights, I took a point off just because there weren't any real boss fights in the game other than the 2, and I took a half a point off for those 2 boss fights not being very challenging. The uninspired voice acting, another half a point goes off for that thing. The story itself, I'm going to give it 2 points off for that because it was just complete crap. And a poor use of Star Wars characters, i.e. 30 seconds of Boba Fett, and misuse of Yoda as a character entirely, takes another point off. All in all, that will end up with a final score of 3 out of 10 and my strong recommendation to avoid this game at all costs. Thank you for watching the Good, the Bad, the Ugly game review. Feel free to comment below, like or dislike, makes no difference to me. I still want to hear your feedback. Also, you can stop by thegameq.com, my website. You can check out old episodes of a video game podcast that I used to do, this one. Also, you can keep your eyes open because I'm going to be starting a new podcast, this one, real soon. Also, come by and check out some of my older reviews and other things. Well, probably not this time around because this is probably my first review. So, again, thanks to you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.